Your life begins today, and still it feels as if you have already missed the start. That's what it feels like to grow up in this generation. A generation where every second feels like countdown, where time isn't just moving, it's racing. I opened my phone and it felt like world is sprinting ahead. Someone my age launches a startup, someone even younger posts photos with their first car, and another flashes screenshots of financial freedom. And it hit me when their success suddenly felt like my deadline. But what I didn't realize then was what I saw on my screen was only shiny tip of their success. Behind every luxury car, every startup, every financial milestone, there were years of grind I never saw. Their clock ticked, yes, but that didn't mean mine was broken. I realized I can't let someone else's chapter decide worth of my own story. I had to stay patient and trust my journey because my pace might just take me farther than theirs ever could. But one more scroll and I would convince myself that I was already behind. I know this because I have felt this pressure deeply. I remember one night when a classmate, someone I always thought of as just average, posted his first trading profits while I was still there cramming equations I barely understood. Soon after, influencers my age started popping up on my feed, posting photos of their designer bags, solo vacation, and captioning it with financial freedom. And I was there, sitting at midnight, staring at my glowing screen and asking myself, am I already behind? Just because I'm not like them? That moment felt like failure. What made it harder was the mixed messaging around me. I was being told to enjoy my youth, laugh, play, make mistakes, be carefree. And in the very same breath, I was told, decide your career. These marks define your future. Do not mess it up. The irony, I was being asked to make life defining decisions in the least serious years of my life. The years when I was still figuring out who even I was. The years when I was expected to plan my 40s while barely surviving my teens. And I realized the real danger isn't achieving young. The real danger is letting the race to succeed steal the years meant to discover ourselves. Achieving young isn't wrong. In fact, it's inspiring. But when success becomes a race, we lose discovery, we lose patience, we lose experimentation. Being early becomes an obsession, and obsession steals joy. It traps us into identities we never chose, just because we wanted to be someone even before we knew ourselves. I have seen it in myself. I have seen it in others too. I knew someone who jumped into content creation. They hustled, posted daily, gained followers fast. It looked like success. But soon they were exhausted. They weren't creating for joy anymore. They were creating just to keep up. And one day they stopped it altogether. Because when you build to look early, you forgot to build what lasts. This isn't just my observation, research proves it. The World Health Organization reports that 1 in 7 adolescents today struggles with mental disorder, anxiety, depression, and leading the list. And much of it is tied to this culture of achievement pressure. My generation is carrying record levels of stress before we have lived our first chapter. And all of this pressure doesn't just come from comparison, it also comes from this new idea, your personal brand. A personal brand isn't just a logo or a follower count. It's the story people remember and tell about you when you're not in the room. It's like it's like a shadow. You don't always notice it, but it always walks with you. And when we rush to shape the shadow too early, we build a brand before we have even built a self. It's like seeing two mangoes in a reel. Now one is perfectly ripe, glossy and golden, and another one is still half ripe. Social media only shows us the ready to eat fruit and not the growth process. Just because something isn't golden yet, it doesn't mean it's failing. It's still ripening. Every mango needs time, weather, patience. So just because something isn't golden yet, it's not failing. It just means it's still growing. So I asked myself, when was the last time I did something purely for joy, without thinking if it added to my resume? When was the last time I learned not for exams, not for LinkedIn, but simply I wanted to try? I couldn't remember. Maybe it was time to pause the race. So here's what I come to believe: I need to stop racing clocks that don't exist. I can respect those who succeed young, but won't let their timeline define mine. I'll build my skills, I'll build my values, I'll build my brand. Yes, but over time and not overnight. Because life isn't about achieving it all while you're still a teenager or in your early 20s. It's about becoming yourself in your own time, at your own pace. Because at the end, it's not about being early or first. So remember, life isn't a race, it's a garden. Some flowers bloom early, some bloom late. What seems like delay is often depth. The quiet seasons of healing, learning, struggling are the roots growing stronger. So when your time comes, you won't just grow, you will stand tall. You're not late, you're preparing to last. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.